All right, welcome to the Senior Home Business YouTube channel, Senior Placement Stories. Today, we're going to talk about senior living communities and stories of seniors like we always do every Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So don't miss an episode of Senior Placement Stories. I want to get into today talking about senior living communities, but let me ask you a question. Are they really communities to you, or are they the F word? Now, I don't mean what you're thinking about, not that F word, but our facilities, right? So we got senior living communities and you got senior living facilities that are out there. And it all depends on your experience, right? You're going to have some positive experience and some negative experiences. And so, you always talk to somebody about senior living and they, oh my gosh, let me tell you a story. And that story could be good or it could be bad. I mean, it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. So some of the good things are like, yeah, mom was really well taken care of. I just love that place. Or when she walked in and she lived there for a number of months, it just felt like home. And other times it's kind of like, oh my gosh, I can't believe mom was there. I mean, and the dependent didn't work. She got very limited care, all that stuff. And then, sometimes people have told me, hey, this place outright stunk, literally. I mean, this was not clean, had a smell to it, a stench. So whatever it is, your experience with senior living communities. So I'm going to go through some stories today, a little bit about seniors. We've helped several hundred seniors over the years. And so I got a ton of stories I can tell you. My students as well sometimes pop on here and, they can tell a story every now and then about what they've experienced, or at least what they observed of the senior experience. And because we all want seniors to have a great experience, right? And I say this all the time, seniors are not looking forward to going to senior living typically. Now, I say typically because senior living, independent living, I've had a lot of seniors that are actually looking forward to go to independent, living because they're hanging around other seniors. There's a level of security, there's activities, socialization, all that stuff, right? But when you get into assisted living memory care, a lot of your seniors just do not want to go. And I've said this many times before, but I am the type person, I'm in the business. I'm only 55, but when I get of age and get that level of care, I'm going to be one of those individuals that do not want to go. And so I want to tell a story right at the gate about a care home owner that I know in my area. It's not one I've shared at all. So if you've heard a couple care home stories, I deal with a lot of care homes. So there's so many stories, and some of these care homes are really, really great, and some are average, and some are, trying to achieve. They're below average, depending on the state reviews and reputation and family intel. I just gave you my 3-step qualification process of how to evaluate a community, but hey, you got to pick up some tips every now and then because as a referral agent, I'm going to tell you certain things that I do. That's one thing that I do. But this one care home owner, she owns 3 homes, and I remember meeting her for the first time about three years ago or so, and she took me to all 3 homes. Now, again, she's the operator, she's the owner of those 3 homes, and all 3 of her homes were full. She had no availability at the moment, and I see why as I toured her homes. They were immaculate. They were wonderful. But the interesting thing is when we walked into the homes, I've never seen this happen before. Every resident of that care home mentioned her by name. I won't mention her name on this video, but they mentioned her by name. So they're like, I'll call her Sally, and her name's not Sally. But it's kind of like every time she walked past, she was showing me different places. Oh, Sally. Hi, Sally. How are you? Good to see you. And she's so involved with the residents. Let me tell you one thing she does, and this would be a great thing for care home owners that are out there, or if you are touring care homes, you might want to encourage the operators, owners to do the very thing that she does. What she does is at least once a week, she will take at minimum a picture of the resident. Most of the time, it's a video of them doing something. Could be eating, could be playing a game, could be watching TV, could be relaxing. It's just whatever they're doing. And she sends it to the family. Because a lot of families, they want to go see their loved one, but because we're all too busy, we're all doing our thing. And I totally get it. It's not bagging on families. We just get into the rat race and doing all kinds of things. We just cannot get to our loved ones right away. So what she does, she brings the loved one to them via picture and or video. And I just thought that was amazing. I mean, how she she started taking some video, and I was like, oh, you videotape your residents? She goes, well, and she's explained what she does. I think that's amazing. There needs to be better connections between families and their loved ones in these communities. I want to encourage you if you're out there just watching this randomly and want to know about some stories. I'm going to go through some more stories in just a minute, and two stories I got next are not really good stories, but so stay with me. But if you are just watching this and you are, you have a loved one in the community, whether it be a large community or a care home or a mid-sized community, go try to visit them at least once a week. I know some of you do a great job. I know some of the families that I've had an opportunity to serve over the years. Many of them have gone over there every other day, sometimes every day. And that's amazing. If you can't do that, make it a weekly commitment, your lunch hour, or, just getting off work or on the weekend, take some of the grandkids with you, take some of, some other family with you. If they allow, X number of guests, make sure you're in compliance with the community. You're not bringing 14 people over there all at once. That might be overwhelming, but you know what I mean? Just take some different people, those kind of things. But I want to get into a couple things that were not that good of a story. I want to tell you two things that I got duped as a referral agent. And so if you are a senior referral agent out there, pay close attention, whether you're in the senior home business community. You see the mug right there, senior home business community. All right, so you can do that. And I forgot to tell you, if you want to drop down, join a free online group, you can. All you got to do is hit the link. And if you want to know more about the senior referral business, you can always hit the link down below and schedule a consultation call with me. Anyway, back to the stories. So I got duped a couple times. It just was not good, both by a skilled nursing facility. I love skilled nursing facilities. I have great relationships with skilled nursing facilities. I admire social workers and the nurses and the caregivers and the staff of all these different communities. They work their butts off. So this is not in any shape, form, or fashion. What is that phrase? I don't know, but I'm not trying to get across that skilled nursing facilities are bad. Now, they're just like anything else. There's good ones and there's below average ones, but they're all trying and they're doing their best. So I'm not trying to, talk bad about them, because I really appreciate all they do. However, I had a situation where a male resident, I just remember because, what the care homeowner said, and based on his ADLs, his activities daily living, he needed to go to a care home. He had so many needs. He probably needed one-on-one, but he just could not afford one-on-one. So the care home was just kind of the thing he needed. So we ended up getting him into a care home. And he was just the sweetest guy around. I mean, just really nice. And the care homeowner went to the skilled nursing facility and met with them, talked with them, and she did her evaluation process and all that stuff. So she said, yeah, he would just be a great fit to my community. And so, but I didn't get all the information. And that's the thing. And I'm going to tell you what the lack of information was in a second. But as a referral agent, you need to get as much information as you can and give that to the community. So, sometimes you're going to be duped. Sometimes you're not going to have all the information. But if you do, don't ever withhold information. So in both these situations, I'm going to tell you, I did not withhold information. I just was not told information. So anyway, so what happened was we got the medical transport, and the gentleman got moved over to the residential care home. And 48 hours later, the care homeowner was texting me, says, oh, Matt, thank you so much. He's such a sweetheart of a person. We just love him. And, he's hanging up some pictures in his room, and the other residents just love him. It was amazing, amazing fit. Well, then the next day, I couldn't believe what I was reading on my phone. It was a text, Matt, we got to get him out of here. I was like, what the world? I was like, what's going on? He is going bipolar. He's throwing pictures. He's screaming at other residents. He's smacking caregivers. He's doing all of it. I'm like, what happened to the sweetheart of a guy just 24 hours earlier? And evidently what happened was they super medicated him, and I don't know what they gave him and all, but they medicated him so much that he was very calm. And then when that medication wore off, it just became apparent who he was at the moment. And so you need to be careful about that as a senior referral agent, just to make sure that you walk people through the process and understand that, hey, we need the full diagnosis here. And so Again, I didn't get it all. I thought I was getting it all. I got to 602 in California, and I don't recall seeing it on there unless I just missed it. But that's one of the things that is difficult in this business, because this business used to be like a name drop business, right? Just get a name and number, go drop it off to communities. No longer that. So if you want to get in this business, you really want to know the process. You need to know negotiation, lead generation, a lot of different things. And this is one of the areas you need to gather as much data, as much information as possible, because if you don't, you're going to find yourself in a situation just like mine, where the gentleman just had to move, right? So if he was there for 2 or 3 days, guess what? I don't get paid for it. But beyond not getting paid, I was responsible during that move, getting the guy in the wrong place because I didn't have all the information. So I'm not a person that likes to blame others. So I took it upon myself to learn and to get better. So you think I would have learned and got better, and I think I did. But there's another story that happened during COVID. Now, to my credit, I was not allowed access in skilled nursing facilities and hospitals during COVID. So this is when this story took place. And it's a sad story, but it's something that can happen. That's why it's so important that you stay in touch with the skilled nursing facilities, your lead sources, whoever it may be, to understand the diagnosis and the condition of the resident that you're looking to help. So during COVID, I had a lead from a skilled nursing facility of another as a gentleman, and they told me all about his ADLs, his behaviors, everything. They just omitted one serious thing about this resident. And I'm like, I couldn't believe I heard it later on. So we didn't know anything about it. Again, I could not visit a skilled nursing facility. So that was one, just a disclaimer at the time during COVID. So the gentleman got moved to the care home where he needed to go. So he went to the care home. I immediately got a text from the care home owner. Matt, you will not believe what I am looking at. And I'm like, oh, what are you looking at? I didn't have a clue. I was like, oh, I don't know what you're looking at. If you don't like it, shift your focus, right? We get what we focus on. So if you don't like it, move. So anyway, so I said, well, what are you looking at? What are you focusing on? She goes, I'm seeing the biggest gash ever on this resident's foot. And I'm like, uh-oh. Because in assisted living, you guys, unless they have a nurse, unless they're licensed to do so, but majority of these, and just about all of them in my area, cannot accommodate a certain level of nursing, right? That's why you got skilled nursing facilities. And this was a outright wound on his heel of one of his feet. So, and it was a big gash. He sent me a picture. I almost, I won't say what I almost did on video, but I tell you, oh man, it turned my stomach. So it was kind of a thing where, oh my gosh, it was not enough information. So now here's the situation. What do you do with this individual? Do you just outright move him like we did the previous one? Because he wasn't conducive for that community. What we were able to do in this one, this care home owner was so experienced, and she owns like 6 homes, and she's just an amazing individual. She went ahead and got hospice involved. So he was able to get a nurse that was there, because assisted living, they're not designed for that, right? They're not designed to be, taking care of wounds. That's nursing. So got hospice over and able to do that kind of thing. But that even though it's during COVID, I've learned to ask good questions. Matter of fact, great questions. The better the questions, the better the answers, right? So you want to make sure when you are assisting families, you gather so much data, spend time with them. Do not rush the process. Again, going back to the name drop thing, but I know a lot of referral agents that will just give me a name, number, basic information. I'll point you in a direction about 3 communities. You go tour and we'll get paid, and your loved one will be just fine. Well, if you're just watching this and you are a person that has a resident, a family member that may need assisted living memory care, and you're going through that process and you're being rushed, I would encourage you to pump the brakes. I would encourage you to stop it and say, you know what? I might not be paying you, but I don't want to be rushed. And you're rushing me through the process, and you're just pointing me in the direction of where you're going to get paid. And I wouldn't put up with that. There's plenty of other referral agents that are out there that will hold your hand through the process, that will go at your pace. Now, they're going to tell you certain things, which I do too, paint a level of urgency that it might not be best mom stay home during Christmas because, you want her home for family, but it's just unsafe because you're still working up until Christmas Day or whatever that may be. And don't take that as being rushed. Just take that as information. But if you feel like someone is just not painting a good picture for you about what this process looks like, the opportunities that are out there, and you're just given some list. I mean, if somebody's just giving you a list, national companies do this, and some local referral agents do this. They just give you a list. Pick one. Well, man, I can go on Google and pick one. It's not about picking one. It's about selecting the right one. It's not about just closing my eyes and going, all right, I think I'll land on number 4. That looks pretty good. Or looking at some picture, maybe in a video, and basing your whole decision on that. I do a lot of virtual tours, a lot of pictures, a lot of videos that I show different individuals, family members. However, that's not the deciding factor of the decision of where mom's going to go. The deciding factor is when they actually take a tour in that community and get the vibe, get the smell, get the sense of what's going on, actually get to meet people, shake their hands, look them in the eye. Is this the right person that I want to take care of my mom? And if so, we can sit down and have more of a conversation about how we're going to do that. If I don't feel good about it, then walk away from it, right? So the adult kids, you guys now are in a parental position. Okay, you are at a place where you are taking care of mom and dad, just as they took care of you when you were a kid and they made decisions that you were not able to make. The adult kids, you're now are having to make decisions that mom and dad can't make. And that's a great place. Take responsibility. Take this whole situation seriously. Don't just fly by. Well, that community is kind of closed. That community is not too expensive. That community looks okay. I've had other people say it's okay. And you just base it on that. No, that's how I make decisions when I go to the grocery store, whether I want to buy something, just maybe kind of just willy-nilly make a decision. And that's not the situation, the case when it comes to assisted living. It should not be. You need to take it seriously. And so as a referral agent, if you're out there and you listen to me, one of my students or somebody just in the game, and you love this industry, you love seniors, you're an advocate of seniors, and you want to do it right, make sure you take them through the process completely. You should have done your homework. You know the market, you know the community, so you can expedite certain things, but take it seriously enough where you actually give them the information so they can make an educated decision. And that's what we want families to do, to make an educated decision, not just a decision. A decision assumes that all these communities are alike. They're not all alike. Many of them are very different. Yes, they all have rooms. Yes, they all have caregivers. Yes, they all have food. Yes, they all have front doors. But you know what? It doesn't mean they're all the same. And so there's a lot that goes on to this. I don't mean just difference between assisted living, independent memory care. I mean, if you just get a whole bunch of assisted living communities, the same service, they'll be a little bit different in certain categories. And so you need to find out what those differences are, because you want mom to have the best experience possible. You don't want to just put mom somewhere. You want her to be somewhere. And it baffles me, and I treat my families just like I would want somebody to treat my own mom and dad. I'm not putting my mom and dad anywhere. I want them to be somewhere. I want them to love where they are. Now, I get sometimes where the senior's not involved, depends on what level of dementia they may have, or, there's a lot of factors when you get into it in this video, but it's just, okay, they're not involved too much. And I get that. But the family, please take consideration of what mom and dad may like. Know their hobbies, know their interests, know the things that make them smile, know the things that just make them feel good. I mean, sometimes just looking at a garden, sometimes it's looking at a fountain, sometimes just having a patio to go read a book. Sometimes it's just the place being a certain color on the inside. These walls are yellow and I got this, fluorescent or whatever those lights are over there. They might like looking at something like that, whatever it is. Know what it is and have mom or dad go there. So not only they're cared for, but they thrive. We don't want seniors to just survive in assisted living. We want them to thrive. We want them to just move forward in life, knowing it's not the end of life. Now, it could be, but same with me. I mean, I could live 5 more minutes from now. I could live 50 years from now. We don't know the day nor the hour. We just don't, right? Our life is like a vapor. We're here today and gone tomorrow. But treat it as though mom or dad are going to live there for years to come. I've had families that I've talked to over the years, and they're like, well, I don't think mom's going to live past 6 months. That could be true, but it's a terrible way to look at it. Plan as though mom is going to live for many more years to come. Think through the process as though mom is going to live many more years to come. Don't have the decision based on mom's going to live 6 months. You don't know that. I've actually seen seniors now, small percentage, so don't hit me too hard in the comments, but I've had seniors, a small percentage of them, get better. Go to a care home or go to a large assisted living community and get better and go home. I've seen it. I've testified it. I've been there. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Are you kidding me? This one guy got better in like 4 months. I mean, we just don't know. We don't know the care that they're going to have and receive, and the medication the doctor is going to prescribe for them, and the care when the doctor comes once a month and all that. We just don't know how they're going to develop. Now, again, most of your residents, like me later on in life, we all decline. So that's a small percentage to get better, but some of them do. That's why it's just another point of emphasis that we need to take consideration mom's interest, mom's hobbies. What makes mom smile? Does this place make mom smile? If you take her there and she doesn't smile, maybe she shouldn't be there. Maybe she can't adequately articulate why, but it just doesn't give her a good vibe, right? Now, you want the setup. I get it. Sometimes seniors, we need to do certain things. It could be they don't like the place because it's new. There's an adjustment period. Typically 30 days is kind of the industry standard of, someone adjusting to a community. I totally get that. But they should have a sense of belonging. They should have a sense of, man, this place at least makes me feel good. I at least like coming here to eat. I at least like being here and seeing other residents. People seem nice. The leadership, the executive director, marketing directors all care about me. The caregivers are readily available. It should be all that. It shouldn't just be, well, there's your room. That's why I get onto another topic real quick, and I'll close after this. But, getting into tours, if you're a referral agent out there, man, give a good 5-point tour. I've got I think a really good 5-point tour, things that I do, because when you get into a community, let me give you an example, okay, for referral agents and for any family member that's out there. If you go on a tour and someone immediately takes you to the bedroom or the apartment, and that's the first thing they do, without the initial greeting, without kind of showcasing certain areas and getting you to a place where you're doing a 5-point tour like I would teach, but they just take you to the bedroom or the apartment, that is already an indicator that they give a poor tour. And the reason they give a poor tour is either they don't know what they're talking about, or give them some grace, they might be new. That was me years ago when I was in assisted living the first time. I'm sure I gave some bad tours too. So don't be too hard on them, but it's a good indicator. They either don't know what they're talking about, or they're not interested. Maybe they're on their way out. They just got fired or getting ready to get fired or getting ready to quit, or they're just brand new, whatever it may be. So I wouldn't base the whole opinion of the community based on a poor tour, but a good tour does not just take you to the apartment and the bedroom initially. All bedrooms have walls, paint on the walls, carpet, windows, all that kind of stuff, right? So anyway, I hope this was helpful for you today. Again, if you want to join a online community group, you can go down below, click the link. And if you'd like to know more about this business and what we do and be able to work from home, help seniors at no cost, no obligation, all the rest, you can click the link below as well and schedule a consultation with myself. I look forward to seeing you and hearing from you. Until next time, God bless.